There's a pattern you might recognize. You meet someone who feels genuinely right. Not perfect, but warm, safe, real. And then something shifts. The closer they get, the more you find reasons to pull back. A text goes unanswered. An invitation declined. A connection that felt beautiful suddenly feels dangerous. And the strangest part? You don't fully understand why. You want this person. And yet something inside you keeps creating distance. If that feels familiar, this video is not random. What you just recognized is one of the most misunderstood attachment patterns in psychology. It's called fearful avoidant attachment. And unlike other patterns, where people either consistently pull away or consistently chase, the fearful avoidant experiences both at the same time. You crave closeness. And you fear it. Not because you are broken. Not because you don't know how to love. But because somewhere in your past, the people who were supposed to be your safe place weren't always safe. Love became unpredictable. And your nervous system learned to prepare for that. Here's what psychology shows. Attachment patterns form in early childhood, long before you had language for any of this. When a child needs comfort and receives it consistently, the nervous system learns, closeness is safe. People can be trusted. But when a child needs comfort and receives something else, fear, unpredictability, or emotional unavailability, a different lesson gets wired in. Closeness becomes associated with pain. And this is where the fearful avoidant pattern begins. Unlike the anxious person who chases harder when connection feels threatened, or the avoidant who simply shuts down, the fearful avoidant lives inside a contradiction. They want the relationship, and the wanting itself triggers the fear. Pay attention to this one. The nervous system isn't reacting to the person in front of you. It's reacting to the person you once loved who wasn't safe. Attachment forms first in the nervous system. Fear shows up second. The person in front of you just opens the door. You'll recognize this in specific moments. The first few conversations feel electric. You're present. Open. You think, this is different. But then real intimacy begins. Not physical, emotional. They start to see you. Fully. And something inside you says, leave before they do. So you pull away. You create conflict where there wasn't one. You find flaws that didn't bother you before. You go quiet without understanding why. And then, once they step back, you want them again. This isn't manipulation. And it isn't confusion. It's a nervous system cycling between two equally powerful drives. Drive 1. Connect, because you are human and you need love. Drive 2. Protect, because connection has ended in pain before. But here's the key part. Neither drive is wrong. Both exist because they once kept you safe. The problem is they're no longer working in the same direction. There are several patterns that may clarify this for you. You feel most comfortable in the early stages of a relationship, when nothing is certain, when things are light and without expectation. Real commitment creates anxiety. Not because you don't want it, but because it raises the stakes. You tend to idealize people before you fully know them, and become quietly critical once they become real. You've been called hot and cold. Warm one week, distant the next, and unable to explain the shift. You may find yourself drawn to people who are somewhat unavailable, not consciously, but because partial connection feels less terrifying than full exposure. And underneath all of this, there is usually one quiet belief running in the background. If they see all of me, the real parts, the complicated parts, they will leave. So you leave first. Here's what psychology also shows. Attachment patterns are not permanent. The nervous system that learned fear can, with awareness, with time, with safe relational experiences, learn something new. This doesn't happen through willpower alone. Not through thinking your way out of old wiring. It begins when you learn to notice the exact moment the fear activates. Not to stop it, but to recognize it for what it is. A memory, not a prediction. The person in front of you is not the person who made closeness dangerous. And you are not the child who had no choice but to protect yourself. You have a choice now. Not to be fearless, but to move toward connection with the fear present rather than letting the fear move for you. The fearful avoidant doesn't push people away because they don't want love. They push people away because part of them believes they don't deserve to keep it. That belief was learned, which means it can be unlearned. Drop a like and subscribe for more relationship psychology videos. And tell me in the comments, does this pattern feel familiar to you? What does it actually feel like from the inside? People who recognize their own attachment patterns don't usually find this channel by accident. If this made sense to you, you're already doing the most important work.